our country. The Phillies and the Dodgers opening a 4-game series on a perfect day for baseball with a temperature in the high 70s and not a cloud in the sky. We're glad that you're with us. Joe Davis or Hershiser. Alana Rizzo joins us in a moment. Dodgers, having taken 2 of 3 from the Padres, have now won 8 of their last 10, and the pitching has been the story, but there are signs throughout that lineup of the offense starting to come alive as well.
We have seen the power bats start to erupt, and when you think about this Dodger offense, you want to think about consistency, but maybe it's the power that will lead them. The on-base percentage of Chris Taylor has really elevated. Cody Bellinger with a bomb, maybe that will relax him and make him more consistent. No worries about Justin Turner's left wrist. The power stroke is there, and Max Muncie, from a surprise to a given almost as far as production is concerned.
Speaking of surprise, the Phillies have been a surprise from day one this season. A team that I think a lot of people thought was probably a year or two away from really competing. They have the 3rd best record in the National League.
29 victories so far. Last year, not until July 9th did they get 29. Odubel Herrera has really led them. The youngster has been hitting for power on the fastball. He can hit a breaking ball, and he has been the main cog of this offense. An all-star in 2016, and he's having an all-star campaign so far.
Yeah, reached base in the first 41 games of this season, a 45-gamer back to last year. Brock Stewart against a local product, Vince Velasquez. Game 1 of 4 between the Dodgers and the Phillies coming right up. onto the field with Alana Rizzo.
Thanks very much, Joe. Thanking those and honoring those that have paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom and our safety of this great country. The Dodgers in Major League Baseball doing some pregame ceremonies here on this Memorial Day. The Military Order of the Purple Heart honoring wounded and non-wounded veterans, as well as the Tragedy Assistance Program for survivors, helping surviving family members of those fallen heroes. Also, many of the nonprofit organizations helping veterans every single day. And as you might imagine, a stirring rendition of the national anthem capped by a flyover from the Condor Squadron. Certainly a sight to be held here at Dodger Stadium. And just moments ago, the honorary first pitch thrown by the family of fallen hero and lifelong Dodger fan, Sergeant First Class Jason Granger. Guys, certainly a truly emotional and humbling day here at the stadium.
Yeah, there's no question about it. The guy taking the ball today, Brock Stewart, talked about it yesterday, how proud he is to be able to put on a baseball uniform, proud and thankful he is to be able to put on a baseball uniform on a day like this. And he considered it an important reminder of why he's able to do what he does. Let's meet the lineup for the Phillies, brought to you by 76. It looks like this in this series opener with Cesar Hernandez to lead it off, and then Rhys Hoskins, who got off to such a great start last year as a rookie. Not the same so far here in his first full year. Talked about Odubel Herrera. He's having a heck of a season. Carlos Santana in his first year with the Phillies. Then it's Franco. Nick Williams getting more and more playing time. And the rookies Kingery and Alfaro rounding out Gabe Kapler's order. Brock Stewart's second start. First one was on Tuesday against Colorado. Gave up 2 runs over 4 innings and a no decision.
Well, with Clayton Kershaw on the horizon for Thursday, Brock Stewart may be pitching for his big league life today. As a starter, he hasn't done as well as a reliever. As a reliever, a 2.37 ERA, but as a starter over the course of his career, a 5.83. I think he needs all 3 pitches against this young Phillies lineup, especially the changeup.
His 4th big league call-up, first time that he's been able to make back-to-back outings before getting sent back down. Off we go with a fastball strike on Hernandez. Phillies have gone 28-17 since that disastrous opening road trip where they were 1-4. And there are already people calling for Gabe Kapler's job. Stroked in the air to left center field. Jock Peterson and Cody Bellinger come together. And it's Jock Peterson for the first out. He was through 5 games in his managerial career. They go back home to Philly for the home opener. Kapler gets booed when he's introduced before he even manages a game in Philly. But boy, have they turned it around or what?
Well, he has found something in the formula and something that is ringing true with his players. They play very hard and energetic, and I just think he's trying to keep them focused.
Rhys Hoskins to the plate. Brock Stewart starts him with a pitch low. Dodgers have won 8 of 10, and the key during that stretch has been their pitching, especially the starters. There's some unlikely sources. Stewart trying to keep that story going today. That's hit on the ground, and actually that got a piece of Grandal's glove, so he'll get first base. Hoskins going to get first base on the catcher's interference.
Hoskins stands deep in the box, big, tall, and well, he does not really leave that back foot very much. A lot of hitters kind of cruise forward, and Yasmani just got a little too close.
That is ruled an error on Grandal, and so 1 out base runner for Odubel Herrera, who started his season by reaching in 41 consecutive games. '26-year-old in his 4th major league season takes ball 1. It's a guy that the Phillies got in the Rule 5 draft. Left unprotected by the Texas Rangers. Even though he'd won a Double-A batting title and was putting together good minor league statistics, there just wasn't a lot of room in that organization. And so they let him go. The Phillies got him. And he's really blossomed here as a 26-year-old. He's ahead 2-0.
His stance looks a little awkward, but where you really examine a hitter is when the ball is approaching the hitting area. And when the ball starts to get into the hitting area, he looks very conventional with just a slightly high leg kick, knee above the waist. This open stance really gives him two eyes on the pitcher and the ball.
Takes a changeup away, ball 3. He's cooled off some since that on-base streak ended. 5 for his last 25. Phillies dropped 2 of 3 to the Toronto Blue Jays over the weekend. Just finished up that series yesterday. Got in late last night. And a pretty quick turnaround for him. Strike 1. Dodgers last year swept the Phillies in a 3-game series here and have had their way with Philadelphia in this ballpark, winning 8 of the last 10. Of course, the memorable win last year when they hit the 3 consecutive home runs to tie it, and then won it on a Gonzalez base hit. A walk to Herrera, and the Phillies with runners at first and second and 1 out.
First baseman number 41, Carlos Santana.
With the 5 o'clock start, it feels like a Sunday night game, and the vision is going to be like it is normally for those Sunday night games that are early, and all of a sudden you're going to deal with shadows. But it couldn't be prettier here at Dodger Stadium. Gorgeous blue skies, perfect temperature, 69 degrees.
What do you think? Top 3 or 4 nicest days of the season here?
It's been very, very nice here the last few days. And today, no different, right near the top.
Here's Carlos Santana, one of the hottest Phillies hitters. Fouls off the first one. In his first season in a Phillies uniform, signed a $60 million contract this offseason. Old Cleveland Indian and old Dodger farmhand. First and second, 1 out. Here comes an 0-1. It's in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike.
If you have fastball location early in the game, you don't have to establish another pitch because you can live with the fastball. We've seen the starters like Ross Stripling, Walker Buehler, Kenta Maeda do that. And right here, Brock Stewart, the fastball kind of wavering as far as the location. He's going to need to find a slider or a changeup pretty quick.
Found the changeup there, 1-2.
This one just catches the edge there. Perfect pitch.
This would be a good lineup to find that pitch against. The Phillies, one of the worst teams in baseball against changeups. Stewart to Santana with a 1-2 pitch. Fouled it back. And Santana, out of a lineup full of guys that struggle against changeups, is the worst.
Brock's elite pitch when he got to the big leagues, as he came from A-ball to Double-A to Triple-A in the big leagues all in 1 year, was his changeup. The poise and the ability to throw strikes and attack the hitter, and then getting them to swing because he's thrown so many strikes, and then pulling the string.
On another 1-2. Pulled the string again. This one taken low, and it's 2-2. Stewart said that first start last Tuesday, not good. Not bad, very meh is the way he described it.
It was one of those starts where if he was able to continue in the game, 4 innings and 2 earned runs, you know, you go 2 more innings, you start to feel better about it. But when it becomes a shortened outing, it doesn't feel good to give up that couple.
Here comes with a 2-2, and Santana takes another changeup blown away to run the count full. Well, he struggles against changeups, but the thing that he's done better than anybody in baseball except Joey Votto is draw walks, and that is throughout the entirety of his 9-year major league career. On a 3-2, Santana takes ball 4, back-to-back walks, and the bases are loaded.
Baseman number 7, Michael Franco.
This is what this lineup does, Oral. They don't hit for a ton of power. The average isn't that high, but they get on with the walks.
They get a lot of deep counts, and they are not afraid to take it all the way and then take that borderline pitch to get that walk. And that is rare for a young team.
Already a visit from Rick Honeycutt.
Well, they'd like to stretch Brock Stewart out, but I think that they will be very quick with the hook if all of a sudden there are early troubles. They've got Stripling and Maeda coming in the wings. They've got Clayton Kershaw coming, so they're not afraid of the depth they're going to get and the innings they're going to get from the starting rotation if this ends up being a bullpen day.
They got the 7 yesterday from Walker Buehler, so the bullpen rested coming in. And part of the reason the bullpen has been better lately has been that they've not been used as much. Starters have gone deeper into games.
The difference in those ERAs started a reliever is really the fastball command and the fastball getting attacked.
So loaded up in this first inning, and Michael Franco, who's been hot lately, stands in. Takes a strike, well framed by Grandal. Franco hitting .375 in his last 5 games. That includes a home run. Hard to believe this guy is still just 25 years old. 5th year with time in the majors. Overthrown. It's off of Grandal, and the Phillies have a 1-0 lead. Ugly start for the Dodgers. Catcher's interference, back-to-back walks, and now wild pitch.
A whole bunch of gifts being given. Boy, that ball was not even close, just really spiked. Something we're not used to seeing with Brock Stewart. He usually very poised, attacks, a lot of strikes. If he gets hit around, it's because he's in the strike zone, not that he's giving gifts with walks.
So 2nd and 3rd with 1 out now, and a 1-1 pitch from Stewart. Little jam shot. Yeah, Nutley's got it for a big 2nd out.
You're glad you get the out if you're Brock Stewart, but it's driving you crazy now. The wild pitch, you're thinking, oh my gosh, I could have had a chance to get out of here with a 0. But you can't think about that. You got to try and get out of there with a 1 right now.
Against the free swinging but very strong and powerful Nick Williams. Made his major league debut last June. Really produced in that half a season. And then opened this year in a platoon and right, but he started to get more and more of the playing time. Second and 3rd, 2 out, and Stewart delivers strike 1.
Important pitch for Brock Stewart, not just because it's strike 1, but he is 1 for 7 with off-speed pitches in this inning. So If you want to bring those along and establish them, better to do it when you're ahead in the count and you don't have a feel for them compared to behind or even in the count.
So got ahead with a fastball, and now throws another one and misses inside. 11th start in the majors for Stewart. Second one this year. A 26-year-old out of Illinois. Here he comes with a 1-1. And it's /foul 1-2. His last couple times out worked much slower than we're used to seeing him work.
Yeah, this is drastically slower. Very pensive on the mound, especially when he comes set. The long delay, and it's not like he's trying to hold the runners here with 2 out and second and third. He's not trying to convince a base stealer at first that I'm coming there or I'm going to home. It's very different, a very long process. I'm not sure how athletic it is to stand that still that long and then try and execute something.
Trying to limit the damage here in the first inning. He's ready for a 1-2. And he gets him swinging with a changeup. That feels like a minor victory for Brock Stewart, giving up just one in a very sloppy first inning. Afternoon, and their lineup presented by 76 as Jock Peterson leading it off for the 6th time this year. Then the red hot Max Muncie, Turner and Grandal, Cody Bellinger hitting 5th today with Taylor at short. Double play partner Chase Utley batting 7th, and then Yasiel Puig. Against a native of nearby Pomona, California, Vince Velasquez went to Gary High School, pitched for the Vikings, and after a rough start this year, he's been much better here in May.
On the back of his slider. The slider is only being hit for about a 100 clip. The Phillies are actually trying to get him to throw it more when there's runners in scoring position.
He delivers a strike to Jock Peterson.
He can be effectively wild with his fastball, but they really like the command with the slider and how he can walk it off the plate.
His 0-1 pitch is in the dirt. Dave Roberts stacking his lineup with left-handed hitters against Velasquez today. This is why drastic splits.
The righties get the slider, the lefties get the changeup, and that's not quite as effective.
Fastball, foul tipped, 1-2.
He's got an electric arm. You can just see the really tall frame. He is working very hard to get the mechanics a little bit more precise so he can be more precise with the ball.
Peterson pops it up. Trying to find it in that bright sunshine. Kingery does for the first out. So up comes Max Muncie, who's just kept on going, hitting another home run in yesterday's game.
And he hit this one a long way, about halfway up the pavilion. Boys, he started to get those greetings after greetings at the dugout. Going from somebody that, who's this, joining our team, to wow, this guy's pretty good, to we got to find a way to get him in there every day.
And they have kind of shuffled the deck in order to do that, at least positionally. Muncie getting the majority of the starts at first base now. Cody Bellinger not playing center field because he's a better center fielder than he is first baseman. He's playing center field because of Max Muncie, who's ahead 2-0.
Cody enjoys it out there in center field, and sometimes changing positions like that, different perspective, maybe that'll wake up his bat. We saw some power of late. Looking for more consistency.
Missed his spot badly. 3-0. Velasquez, a second-round pick of the Houston Astros out of high school. Debuted with Houston in 2015. Soon after that was traded to the Phillies, and now in his fourth year with Major League time. Finds the corner. 3-1. Potential, the word with this guy. Ace potential, they've been saying. Second start in a Phillies uniform. 16 Ks, no walks, complete game shutout. He's walked Muncie. The Dodgers have their first base runner of the game. In the 2 years since that game, Oral, he's not even pitched into the eighth.
Number 10, Jansen.
He's got starter stuff, and he does have ace stuff. I can see why they think that about him. When I watch his mechanics, though, his back leg is very erratic, and you stand on one leg for a living. You start on your back leg, you end up on your front leg, and the consistency of that is where the consistency in the pitches come from.
Now faces a guy who's taken him deep before, Justin Turner. And a 1-0 game here in the first. This is up with a fastball. Talked about Brock Stewart working more slowly than usual. Well, Vince Velasquez is the slowest worker in baseball. 28 seconds between pitches on average. He's in there with a fastball. 1-1. The better he's feeling, the quicker he goes. But when he loses it, you start to see him kind of fidgety, kicking around with the dirt, tugging at his uniform. On a 1-1 pitch. Turner watches it spin in there for a strike.
It's the first breaking ball, a little slider right there. 11 fastballs before this, 5 only for strikes. That slider, Justin was griping about it, and I think he was right.
Muncie at first with 1 gone, and Velasquez to Turner with a 1-2. He flips it to first. That's caught on the fly, and now they say it actually bounced, and now they get Muncie in a run down. So it does become a double play, just a little bit differently than it looked at first. So the Dodgers bring up the minimum against Vince Velasquez here in the first inning and trail 1-0.
lined the ball to Carlos Santana. He caught this ball near. Kerwin Danley said no, so they had to continue on with a rundown. If the rundown would have failed, I think the Phillies would have challenged and won, but it is recorded as a ground out and then the rundown. 3 unassisted and then the rundown.
So on to the second we go. Brock Stewart trying to settle in after that 23 pitch first inning. Scott Kingery leads it off and takes ball 1. Kingery signed a 6-year, $24 million contract before he ever played a major league game. That's a record for a player yet to debut. Makes this one foul. At least a player from the U.S. Obviously, international deals come before debuts that have been bigger. 24-year-old rookie's off to a bumpy start since signing that deal, hitting just a touch above 200. Two and 1. Kingery says, though, finally starting to get that feel back. He used the word hitterish this weekend. Starting to feel hitterish again. Feels like a hot streak is coming. Dodgers hope he saves it for San Francisco. On a 2-1. Yanks one to left field. Peterson will watch it drop. Big swing, but a crack bat and a soft flare base hit to lead off the second.
Broke his bat and he put some serious spin on this ball between Brock Stewart's fastball running out his hands. If you watch Jock Peterson track this ball, he doesn't even understand where it's going to go. It curves so much.
Like a top spinning ping pong shot. With one gone, it's the 8-hitter Jorge Alfaro. And I know you were blown away watching his BP today, huh?
He was almost hitting him out of the stadium. Second and third top row in the pavilion. And it wasn't just one where he got lucky. It was like, 3 out of 5 are going up there.
Still just 24 years old. First opening day roster for him this year. And slaps the first one foul. Look at a lot of the guys the Phillies are counting on now. Alfaro came over in a trade. Cole Hamels' deal in 2015 brought him. After originally signing with the Rangers out of Colombia when he was 16 years old. Stewart's 0-1. Change up way out in front, 0-2.
It's all the way down to 80 miles an hour. Normally his change up 82, 83. And in some ways where it's elevated like that, you're glad it was a little slower.
Last year, the difference in speed between Brock Stewart's fastball and his changeup, it was one of the largest gaps in all of baseball. 12 miles per hour on average. This year, though, the fastball's been a little bit down. The changeup's been a little bit firmer.
Right there, he took it down to 79, maybe trying to make an adjustment here. The fastball's been around 99, 91, 92, and that would be what you're talking about from last year. But you're right, they have been a lot tighter, or that 8, 9 mile an hour differential.
Should put him around average as far as the separation. See what he goes with on a 1-2. Fastball, soft line drive, base hit into center. Back-to-back singles to open the second for the Phillies.
Yeah, a couple of ducks, really. These balls are not hit well, and they just happen to find grass. And One jam shot and one off the end of the bat. Just bloopers that you're going to have to try and pitch around.
There's Velasquez in a sacrifice situation. Geez, the Kingery hit was 72 miles per hour off of the bat. Alfaro's was 68. 95 is considered hard hit. Velasquez lays it down nicely. Grandal will throw him out. The runners advance to second and third.
That's an outstanding bunt. The weight of it. You don't know if they're going to run the wheel play until Chris Taylor breaks to second to kind of hold the runner there. All of a sudden, you just deaden it down the first base side, and boy, it was perfect distance. Just get it out of the dirt barely.
Second time through the order now. Here's Cesar Hernandez. High drive right center field. Puig Grayson back on it at the wall. It is gone. Hernandez with a 3-run shot. Just like that, the Phillies lead Stewart and the Dodgers 4-0.
Number 17, Reese Hoskins.
His 7th home run of the year on a fastball, which Brock has thrown predominantly, wanting to find another pitch to establish, but the center cut fastball with a lot of backspin and a lot of power on it, driven out of here. Put the Dodgers down 4-0.
And it brings up Reese Hoskins, who watches a fastball for a strike. The Phillies top 5 in the National League in runs per game overall, but the last few weeks they've not been very good swinging the bats. Series over the weekend against the Blue Jays hit below 200 as a team. It's been all about the pitching. Fouled off, 1-2. Coming inside with a 1-2. Hoskins grounding one up along third and foul. This guy got off to that monster start last year when he had 18 home runs in his first 34 games, and they got off to a good start this year. But when you split the 50 games so far in half, the second half has not been good.
The league might be finding some holes with him, and he's going to have to make an adjustment back. Boy, he was very, very good early on. It was like, wow, who is this guy?
Yeah, those 18 home runs that he hit in his first 34 games last year, that's a major league record for that span to open a career. Better even than Cody Bellinger did in his explosion onto the scene. And this for a guy in Hoskins who 3 years in college ball hit a total of 25. He's never much of a power hitter. As for those aluminum bats. But after rookie ball started making a conscious effort like you hear so many guys doing to elevate the ball. Added a leg kick. Played in a couple winter leagues to try and lock those new mechanics in. Went to the Dominican Winter League, went to Australia and played for a few weeks. This is a few years back. To overhaul that swing and overhaul his offensive game. Not a bad way to do it. Go to Australia, get your work in.
I was thinking the opposite, but
too far.
Well, it's just unbelievable how when a guy gets to the big leagues and then let's say becomes successful. Yeah, but becomes successful, then later they forget the trail that you did. And I'm not really talking about your point as much as I was thinking about the whole journey.
Stewart gets him with a slider.
You know, and what it takes to perfect something and what the work that it takes. And we've seen that with Justin Turner, with Chris Taylor. Max Muncie's talked about his journey. We're watching it with Jock Peterson. It's just absolutely amazing to think back through the days that these guys have had to battle and wonder, am I going to be good enough?
I say Hoskins, a tireless worker, first guy there, last guy to leave kind of thing. I know it's cliche, but part of how he's made himself into the hitter that he is. With 2 out, it's Odubel Herrera, who bunts one along third sharply. Turner's got it, but has no play. And that's part of the reason why Odubel Herrera was able to reach over the first 41 games of the season every single game. Yes, he can swing it, but he's also very fast.
Not afraid to show every part of his talent with the speed and the ability to just didn't really bunt for a hit. He just said, you know what, if I make a nice solid bunt with my speed, I'll make it. So not worried about doing anything extra special there with the bunt.
Been on both times tonight. And it gets Carlos Santana to the plate in the second. A little bit outside, ball 1.
Brock Stewart having trouble finding something that the Phillies would swing and miss at. The only thing they have swung and missed at is 3 off-speed pitches. Other than that, when they have swung the bat 20 times, they're making a lot of contact.
Which goes against the book on them. Second lowest contact percentage in baseball, this Phillies lineup. Good looking change up, 1-1.
You mentioned the change of speed with Brock Stewart and how he can separate it by 12 miles an hour when he's on. The thing that really makes his changeup good when it's on is just his aggressiveness as he gets down the hill, and he uses great arm speed to help with that deception.
There are 23 pitches in the first inning. This would be his 22nd of the second. Runner takes off on a base hit. Sneaks its way by both Muncie and Utley, and they're at the corners with 2 out. Well, the only place he could have put it over on that side of the diamond. Santana with a 2-out single.
The home run by Hernandez was hit hard, but there have been a lot of bloopers and softly hit balls. This one finally has some eyes. The other ones were just blooping over the infield. Brock Stewart, a lot of times when he's been called up to the big leagues, has been that long man in the bullpen that has to eat innings when the team is down. And in some ways right now, he's playing that role for himself. No action in the Dodger bullpen, and you don't want to start a 4-game series without an off day in it and all of a sudden just annihilate your bullpen.
With 2 out, it's Michael Franco. Swings and misses at the first one, strike one. It's that time of day where hitters talk about it being very hard normally to pick pitches up. The ball coming out of the sun, changing shades as it comes home.
The key to pitching in this lighting is to have the ball look like it's one place, end up another, because they can't read the spin. So movement is a big deal here. The hitter is more seeing a shape and hitting at a shape and a blur than they are actually reading spin and trajectory and all the other things that they can pick up when the lighting is consistent.
First and third, 2 out, and Stewart's 1-1. Bouncing ball to third for Justin Turner, and that does it for the Phillies in the second, but they get a 3-run shot from Cesar Hernandez, and the Dodgers with an uphill battle in this one, down 4-0. Most wins all time on Memorial Day. The Dodgers in the top 5 in baseball history, 106. Used to be a doubleheader day. They've played almost 200 games on this day. Phillies, meanwhile, have the second most losses on Memorial Day with 104 in their franchise's long history. But they lead this one 4-0 to the bottom of the second as Vince Velasquez pitches, ball 1 to Grandal. Bellinger and Taylor to follow here in the second. Grandal trying to get things kick-started against a guy that he's really seen well previously. 4 for 6 with a pair of home runs against Velasquez. One and 2. Been a while, though. Dodgers haven't seen Velasquez since 2016. So they didn't get to see him in what was by far the worst year of his career last year while he dealt with some injuries. Forearm tightness, then thoracic outlet syndrome. Had to have surgery this offseason. He says the healthiest that he's felt in about 5 years right now. His 2-2. Breaking pitch falls in for strike 3. And it's that curveball that's been a lot better for him here in the month of May.
Yasmani had a tough time picking this up. Normally he doesn't really take this pitch kind of right in your eyes, but with this lighting right now, remember, it's hard to recognize spin. And Velasquez is effectively wild with that pitch. Looking like it's going to be a ball, ends up a strike.
His first K of the night, and here's Bellinger. Strike 1. Cody with a home run yesterday, 8th of the season. Curve caught the corner, and it's 0-2.
5 for 5 with his off-speed stuff. A guy who's been so erratic with his fastball, you wouldn't suspect that all of a sudden he would command the breaking stuff. Less than 50% of his fastballs have been strikes.
Goes back to it here, and it's pumped foul. I mentioned he's from Pomona, a little more than 30 miles from here at Dodger Stadium. He's pitched here once as a big leaguer, and it was the single worst outing of his career. Had about 100 friends and family in attendance. And back in August of 16, gave up 9 runs on 11 hits. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
It's a nightmare, and you can really probably attribute it to nerves. A, because we know even to this day, more a veteran now with more experience, but still can get fidgety out there on the mound when things aren't going well. So can you imagine pitching in Dodger Stadium close to your hometown with 100 people in the stands early in your career? That would amp you up.
That could snowball quickly. A bad start to that game and completely got away from him. Trying to make a new memory here. Hung a breaking pitch, got away with it. In center field, Herrera. 2 up and 2 down in the second.
Shortstop, number 3, Chris Taylor.
So with the bases empty and 2 out, Chris Taylor comes up. One of the bright spots of this offense lately. Very quietly here in the month of May, Chris Taylor is 2nd in the National League in on-base percentage.
The batting average isn't really over 300. He's taking a lot of walks. And he is starting to see the ball really well. Dave Roberts doesn't have him at the top of the order today because a really good right-hander and slider on the mound. And since he's starting to get on a roll, don't put him up there near the top where all of a sudden maybe set him back a little bit.
There is that slider, 1-1. Said finally this weekend, that Saturday game where he led off the game with a home run. One of the first times this year where what he's worked on pregame clicked in game. It's one thing to feel it during BP and in the cage, but then you get out there facing the real thing. Can vanish quickly. Behind 1-2.
You can be producing and getting on base and getting your hits, but still not feel good about the way it's being done. It's a feeling of, wow, I'm glad I got a hit, but I'm not sure I can reproduce it. And when they start to say they feel hitterish is when they feel like they can reproduce things.
Oh, somebody took a spill into that camera well.
Oh, that didn't look good. There's nothing soft down there. It is just solid cement. That's a good 4 or 5 foot drop.
Well, thankfully, it happened right in front of the training staff. We're quickly on it. And they have completely stopped the game at this point. Training staff is in there, security, some of the ushers have made their way down. And many of the Dodger players have even gone over there. So they'll resume play. Velasquez deals a 1-2, and Taylor yanks one foul. See in the background here. Another 1-2. Fastball, good take. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Trying to change Chris Taylor's eye line right there. They didn't really necessarily want to get him out with that pitch. If he chased, yes, but they're trying to slow him down with breaking balls. That one was to speed him up with the fastball up around the shoulders.
And the slider taken low. With this good run for Taylor, his average right now, while it's not pretty at 248, it's the highest that it's been since the first week of the season. He's worked it full, so now a 3-2, and he got him swinging. We go to the third with the Phillies in front 4-0.
To catch every moment this season, get Dodgers home screen icons and features such as MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast, stats, news, and more. Download MLB at Bat today.
Back here at Dodger Stadium, where the Phillies have a 4-0 lead. An ongoing situation down there. The person who fell has still not been hoisted out of there. Not seen him get to his feet. But a 4-foot drop off down into that hole. Nick Williams takes a strike from Brock Stewart. He's earned this starting role, Williams has, with largely what he's done as a pinch hitter. See the numbers above 400 off of the bench for Gabe Kapler. And this is after early on he was one of the guys who kind of raised a storm with the new way of doing things for the Phillies. Very sabermetrically inclined now with Kapler as the manager. And he blamed his lack of playing time early on, quote, the computers that make the lineup. Fouled off 1-2. He later apologized, but just as kind of a reflection of where things were during that first week. Williams was outspoken. The Phillies were 1-4.
Gabe Kapler getting booed before he managed his first home game. He shouldn't feel that bad. Take a little solace in the fact that the Philadelphia fans have booed Santa Claus.
That is true. Some of the toughest fans in sports, not just Phillies fans, but Philadelphia fans across all their pro sports teams. 2-2. Got a pretty good run in town, haven't they? Between Villanova basketball and Philadelphia Eagles football. Sixers are good again. Soft bouncing ball. Lone man on the left side of the infield is Taylor, and Williams the first out.
Chase Utley dealt with those fans and enjoyed those fans for a long time because he had a lot of winning days there in Philadelphia.
Not really had any winning days since his time. One out for Scott Kingery. Phillies a year ago 66-96, and it was their third consecutive 90-loss season. During Chase's prime, they had 5 consecutive division titles. Won a world championship in 2008. But a 6-year playoff drought since those 5 straight division titles. Stewart's 0-1. Kingery takes the ball. It's 1-1. Chase drafted out of UCLA to the Phillies, and one of the all-time greats.
Jimmy Rollins, Brian Howard, Chase Utley. Those are some days there. Late great Roy Halladay.
Now, before yesterday's loss to the Blue Jays, they were alone in first place for the first time since September 28th, 2011.
Wow.
Which is their last winning season.
The turnaround really hit home with me today, reading that with 29 wins, they didn't get their 29th win last year till July 9th. They're already there.
2-2 on Kingery. Yeah, I mean, July 9th this year, even if they just play 500 or so ball, look at in the mid-40s. And the budget is set up really nicely for them to be able to splurge in this big free agent class coming up. One of the teams that is frequently rumored with Bryce Harper, Manny Machado. A pop fly into shallow center field. Chase Utley's out there with Cody Bellinger coming on. Utley makes the catch in the palm of the glove for out number 2.
Well, not the easiest of light even for defenders when you have to be in shade and then get the sunlight, or you start in sunlight and go to shade. So as the hitters battle it from the pitcher, fielders are battling it to catch the ball.
Stewart looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of the game. 6 batters to the plate in the first, 8 of them in the second. His first pitch to Jorge Alfaro is a sharp slider for a strike. Seen flashes today.
And we have, and The ball down there around the knees has better action when he's gotten hit, and some of the bloopers. The fastball that runs in on the righties has been blooped in, and then the fastball that was hit for a home run by Hernandez was just center cut.
Coming inside with the 0-1 and fouled off, strike 2.
Brock Stewart's arsenal is very good north-south. What I mean is firm and soft, but the east-west, he doesn't have a lot of movement to the slider, and actually his fastball has more run in the opposite direction of his slider than the slider, which is his breaking pitch.
Ball 1. Well, back up with a 1-2, but missing, and it's 2-2. And the rookie Jorge Alfaro. Got him swinging. Brock Stewart with his best inning of the night. 4-0 to the bottom of the third. When we come back, Alana is going to visit live with Rich Hill. Now we go down to the field, brought to you by El Pollo Loco. Alana is with Rich Hill.
All right, Joe, thanks very much. Rich, I know that you have played catch, you've had bullpen sessions, and you've also participated in a simulated game. How is the finger, and what's next for you?
Finger's coming along great. Threw a 30-pitch bullpen today, and been able to progress really well. It's healing well, and hopefully be able to get the tape off to progress into just playing catch without anything on it.
And I know today in BP you were hitting bombs. I mean, let's be honest, that's the reason you really want to get back, right, is to be able to swing the bat.
Yeah, that would be great if I could actually contribute in the lineup. That would be awesome. But yeah, hopefully, you know, things continue to progress in the direction that we're going in, and be back soon.
And certainly you want to be back soon. You guys get a boost in the starting rotation. Clayton Kershaw coming off the DL on Thursday. What would that mean for you guys?
Yeah, Clayton's looking great. I mean, his bullpens are going really well, and he looked great in the simulated game, so that's a big boost for us. And, you know, being 3.5 games back or wherever we are right now in the standings, we're playing really good baseball.
Thanks for your time, Rich. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Alana.
All right, guys, back upstairs.
All right, Alana, thanks to Rich for spending a few minutes, and that is exactly right, 3.5 back. Strike on Utley, and it's 1-1. And most players would tell you they don't know how many games out. Rich Hill knows.
Yeah, do you think he was playing his cards close to the vest right there? Yeah, wherever we are.
3.5 or whatever.
220, 221, whatever it takes. It's a line from a movie. I can't tell you which one, though.
Okay.
Mr. Mom, maybe. Did I get it right?
Rick Rajewski says so. Take it with a grain of salt.
Because it's not baseball. It's movies.
He knows movies, too. That's it, though. Baseball movies. Dodgers still looking for their first hit against Velasquez. He's been very good here in this month of May after a bumpy start to the year. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Interesting thing with Velasquez when you're looking at his splits, the bottom of the order has done the majority of the damage against him. Bottom third of the order hitting .316. Everybody else hitting .222. And it's not a small sample size anymore. He's a third of the way into his season. There it is, the bottom of the order here. Chase Utley working the count full. What gives?
Maybe pressure. Maybe he feels better under pressure, gets a little more concentration. Maybe goes to his slider a little bit more often with the meat of the order, and that has been a very effective pitch for him. Ball 1, ball 2 with the bottom of the order and default to that fastball again. Maybe get hit around.
Utley down on strikes with a fastball. Velasquez has his 3rd K and 1 gone.
Right fielder, number 66, Yasiel Puig.
This ties Chase up. Get the head of the bat out. How much he really picked that ball up. Missed it by a good 6-8 inches.
Out of the position players, here's one of the 2 right-handed hitters in the lineup for Dave Roberts today. Swings and misses at a slider for strike 1. Right-handers have really struggled against Velasquez with that slider of his. Now fastball, and it's 0-2. Oof. 97.
It's Walker Buehler stuff. 95, 96, 97 fastball. Doesn't show the command that Walker has. He can spin his breaking balls. Got both the curveball and the slider.
Former Gary High School Vikings stars, both a pitcher and a shortstop. Comes home with another 1-2 to Puig. Ripped to third, and off a bounce, it's Franco. 2 out.
Dodger fans, do you know a standout high school senior athlete? Then nominate them for a chance to be named a Spectrum Sports Championship Drive Scholar Athlete and receive a $2,500 college scholarship. Go to SpectrumChamp.com now for more information.
So Velasquez trying to face the Dodger order once. Face the minimum. Only base runner was a Muncie walk, and he was erased on a double play. One ball, no strikes on Stewart. They have, by the way, just now gotten the cameraman that fell into the camera well a couple innings ago, just now gotten him out of the camera well and up the tunnel. It's 1-1. There were so many people surrounding him as they did it. It was hard to tell the condition at that point, whether it was on a stretcher or if he was helped out. We'll continue to update you on that as we get more information. A 1-2 stays alive, and let's check in with Alana.
Several members of the Dodgers medical staff as well as EMTs were assisting that cameraman that fell into the camera well a couple of innings ago. He was just actually put on a stretcher. My guess is to stabilize him as they continue to work on him with what appears to be a gash on the upper region of his head area, and they've taken him out of the camera well now and taken him at least out into the dugout, or excuse me, clubhouse area, I'm assuming, on the way to the hospital.
All right. Stewart down on strikes. 1, 2, 3 go the Dodgers here in the third. Most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. And by Jack in the Box. Try the new Cholula Buttery Jack, part of the Buttery Jack family, only at Jack in the Box. Very well orchestrated prior to the game today. The national anthem and the flyover on a gorgeous night. Temperature down into the mid-60s at this point. Literally not a cloud in the sky as the Dodgers and Phillies open this 4-game series. Joe Davis, Earl Hershiser, and Alana Rizzo, glad you're with us. Hope you're having a nice, relaxing day off today. Vince Velasquez, 9-1-2 for Philadelphia against Brock Stewart, who put up his first 1-2-3 inning in the third. A lot of traffic against him over the first 2 innings. Really, though, just one hard-hit ball, a 3-run home run from Hernandez.
The walks have killed him. The interference by Yasmani Grandal. The wild pitch by himself. Getting on the beam now, getting more swings and misses. The highest percentage he's ever thrown his changeup in a game is about 30%. And today he's thrown it about 42%. So he has really taken to the scouting report that these guys are very bad against the changeup, don't slug against it. He's really tried to establish it and throw it.
Seen a couple of those.
That's just a little nerves or grip strength or something happened. You start to feel maybe the ball slip out of your hands and you grab it.
He's already exceeded his pitch count from his start last Tuesday. I think it's a great point you made earlier where Dave Roberts had said he would be aggressive with Brock Stewart as Scott Alexander starts to warm, but as things kind of get away in the first couple of innings, you go back to the role that he was playing before, and that is as an innings eater. Try to get this thing as deep as he can and not completely burn the bullpen out at the start of a 4-game series.
The bullpen's going to get another arm, and it'll probably be in Brock Stewart's roster spot, with Clayton Kershaw being activated on Thursday as scheduled. So then they would have to drop a bullpen piece going into Clayton's start, but between now and then, for Tuesday and Wednesday, they would have an extra body down there.
Jake Arrieta tomorrow. Prized offseason acquisition for the Phillies. And Kenta Maeda, who has been fabulous his last 2 times out. That's a heck of a pitching matchup in game 2. Good one in game 3 as well. Zach Eflin and Ross Stripling. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And then Aaron Nola and Clayton Kershaw on Thursday. That's a really good one too.
Arrieta signed really as a leader to a young club and a young staff, and is doing his job almost like Eric Hosmer in San Diego, but the Phillies are coming a lot quicker than the Padres.
On the 8th pitch, Stewart finally finishes off his counterpart, his 4th K. It's going to be interesting to see if the Phillies hang around. If what you're seeing right now is for real. That is, you know, before the year, you'd look at the division and say it's the Nationals' division to lose, but it's a pretty deep division at this point, with the Phillies and the Braves both looking like they're arriving earlier than planned. Nationals red hot outside of the sweep against the Dodgers, and you still have the New York Mets there. It's ball 1 on Hernandez, who hit a 3-run home run his first time.
The Mets still a game above 500, but they've lost their last 3 games.
Two balls, no strikes. We look back at his home run on our Morongo slow-mo cam.
A fastball that they were trying to get more in, but it leaked out over the plate about thigh high. He just put a sweet swing on that, and that would carry it out of here.
One thing that has to give the Phillies some pause is that they are 10-15 against their own division this year. They're really mowing down everybody else, but struggling against the teams they're going to play a bunch. Two on. And a nice play at first by Muncie on a short hop. 2 gone.
Max with a good half a first step right there, grabbing it. Kerwin Danley gets another one where it's, is it out on the air? No, this one bounced for sure. Got that one right. 3 unassisted.
And that is now 6 in a row retired by Stewart as Rhys Hoskins comes up. Phillies are chasing the Atlanta Braves in the East right now. Braves won again today on a Charlie Culberson walk-off home run. Playing a doubleheader against the Mets. Ball, 1 strike. Charlie did the same thing that he did his walk-off home run to win the division in Vin's final game a couple years ago, coming home threw his helmet as high as he could and hopped into the dog pile. Easy guy to root for.
Real easy guy to root for. You're right. Just don't hit it against the Dodgers.
Braves are coming to town next weekend. Open the next homestand. The Dodgers go to Colorado for a few, Pittsburgh for a few. Braves will be in here next Friday. 3-1 on Hoskins.
Brock Stewart, after not doing his job, is doing his job. The adverse effects of having to go to the bullpen a lot earlier, let's say it would have been the first or the second, but now he is out there on his 80th pitch already and has taken the Dodgers deeper into this game. Still with a chance to win it. We're not even halfway home yet.
Here he comes with the 3-2, and Hoskins takes strike 3 on a perfectly placed fastball. So Brock has settled in and retired 7 straight.
Join T-Mobile in showing appreciation for all military by sharing a photo or video with the hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
Blast in this one, a 3-run shot from Cesar Hernandez. And Brock Stewart has settled down, settled in, but the offense trying to get it cranked up against Vince Velasquez. Jock Peterson starts the inning, takes ball 1.
Second time around the order. The visuals are better now. Shadow almost encompassing the batter's eye in center field. Maybe it's the equation the Dodgers are looking for to get some runs.
You kind of never know what you're going to get with Vince Velasquez. We mentioned what he did in his second start in the majors, or at least second start as a Philly. Complete game shutout with 16 Ks and no walks. But he also has some huge clunkers. You hope that he can have a swing from one end of the spectrum to the other mid-start, because so far, so good. Here he comes with the 1-2. Now the Dodgers during this 8-2 run, pitching's been great. They've been scoring some runs, but it's been on the strength of home runs. The average is actually lower during these last 10 games than it has been much of the year. Overcoming it with a power, though. It was backwards from what had been the case over the first month and a half. On a 1-2, Peterson swings and pops it on the infield. Who wants it? Well, Velasquez.
Friday on an all-new Backstage Dodgers, check in on Corey Seager as he begins his rehab process after having Tommy John surgery. Plus, Seager is mic'd up in the Dodger dugout during a win over the Rockies. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers, presented by Cadillac, Friday on the postgame show on Sportsnet LA.
It's a bat you miss on a night like this against a guy who's gotten crushed by left-handed hitters over the course of the year. Muncie, the lone base runner for the Dodgers so far, walked his first time. Here takes strike one. One ball, one strike.
Talked about Velasquez and his up and down results. Well, Jake Arrieta, a guy that really had unbelievable stuff early in his career in Baltimore, got left off the playoff roster and finally got command of his electric arm and ability to spin the ball and make the ball move with a live fastball. So a great role model and mentor for Vince to follow, and he can empathize with him.
From 2010 to 2013, to your point, Will, Jake Arrieta, that's a 4-year span, had a 5.46 ERA. That is the single worst ERA in Baltimore Orioles franchise history for that many starts. On a 2-2. Muncie watches a fastball clip the corner at 97. 2 out.
Number 10, Jansen.
This is pinpoint.
He's feeling it. Two out for Turner. Now, Vince Velasquez and Walker Buehler are two guys that are the exception and not the rule, but two guys that gain velocity after Tommy John surgery. Walker had always been a hard thrower. His went up a tick. Velasquez went up a bunch after he had his surgery. It's at the knees, 1-1. He was 88 to 91 before Tommy John surgery, which, like Buehler, he had right after he was drafted. And you see now he touches 97.
A lot of different reasons for that. The shape you get in, the growth, and then if you had a loose rubber band that broke and then they tighten it back up, all the parts are then working again. I think a lot of that velocity, though, comes from, yes, the elbow has been repaired, but the shape and the rest and the growth of these young men, and they all of a sudden get maybe their man strength.
And he was drafted out of high school, so for him, he would have been 19 years old when he had it.
So the same way a prospect that's healthy from A ball to AAA all of a sudden has gained 5 miles an hour because he's gone from maybe 19 to 22 years old. Same thing had happened with a guy coming back from Tommy John.
Foul ground in front of the dugout. Velasquez called off by Santana. Vince Velasquez, who in his first outing in his ballpark that he grew up coming to games in, gave up 9 runs on 11 hits, has thrown 4 no-hit innings. California Toyota dealers. Your summer starts here at your Toyota dealer. Get incredible deals on a stylish new Corolla. Back at Dodger Stadium, Scott Alexander on for the 5th inning, replacing Brock Stewart, who was able to settle in, put up zeros in his last 2 innings, and Alexander will try and keep it at 4-0.
Scott had to spend some time in AAA to get things squared away, but since returning has been outstanding, only giving up 3 hits in 6 1/3 innings up here at the big league level, and expects to be an integral part and on a roll the rest of the year, feeling really good and confident about his stuff.
Kind of a tale of 2 outings for Brock here. First 2 innings and second 2 innings.
He's having trouble getting anything to be swung and missed at, and when they made contact they blooped some balls in on him, plus a couple walks with that kind of luck, and it didn't work out very well, especially when the ball left the yard for a 3-run homer.
It's on for the left-handed batting Odubel Herrera. He'll take strike 1. Dave Roberts saying that I think Scott Alexander could play a big role in this series with some of the talented left-handed hitters they have. And as you touched on, he looks much more well equipped to play a big role than he did earlier on this season. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Predominantly going to throw that 1-finger sinker. Has a good breaking ball, but doesn't use it that often. And the big adjustment from now and what he's doing compared to when he had to go to AAA and get it squared away is that the sinking fastball, he can throw it for a strike by the knees now instead of pulling it like that one.
Bounce to second. Chase Utley just in time to get Herrera. Retire him for the first time today. We go down to Alana Rizzo.
All right, guys, thanks very much. Tom Kohler is in the building, arrived earlier today as he gets ready to continue to make that process, getting back on the hill, dealing with that right capsule strain in his shoulder. He said that he has a few more hurdles to clear. One of those hurdles was something that he did today. He was able to throw a bullpen today. He said he's asymptomatic, feels really good, just the normal soreness as he tries to get back, but certainly none of the pain that he experienced in spring training. He said that he would like to be back before the All-Star break, but said he wouldn't be shocked if he wasn't. He's working with the timeline that the medical staff is giving him. He's trying to save himself from himself. Certainly wants to get back sooner rather than later, but he feels good.
Good to hear. And really, this offseason, the two acquisitions for that bullpen that the Dodgers were counting on, one of them is Alexander. We just told his story of how it's taken him some time to come around. Kohler is the other. And so while it may not have been a recognizable name to Dodger fans when the injury was announced during spring training, front office, Dave Roberts and that dugout expected that he would be a key piece. Alexander to Santana with a 2-0 that sinks under his swing for strike one.
It really feels like the bullpen's going to be able to patch it together. I know that there'll be a lot of mixing and matching and who's hot and who's not, and there might not be set roles, but as far as the ability down there and the potential for them to be consistent and dominant, I think it still exists.
Santana down the line, a fair ball. On his way to second. He's got a 1-out double. Carlos Santana aboard all 3 times today.
Got the ball up, and this ball is slashed right down the line and barely makes it fair. Not enough time because it was hit well to curve foul. Yasiel gets it in quickly to second base to hold him to a double.
That brings up Franco. Now the bullpen during this 8-2 run for the Dodgers has a sub-2 ERA. So you talk about them feeling like they're patching it together. They have over the last week plus or so. But a big part of that has been they've not been as extended because the starters have gone deeper.
It changes so many things when that starter can go that extra inning. One more piece that you don't have to pull out of the bullpen and hope that they're on their game. And then what you mentioned, getting normal rest where you're not forced to go out there when, oh, I'm okay, I can do it, compared to I'm rested and ready to go. A little different when you have a ball in your hand and you're just okay compared to you have your best stuff and you're well rested.
Great example of the whole concept. Game 2 of the World Series last year when Dave Roberts had to start that domino effect a little earlier than he wanted when Ross Stripling came on and issued a 4-pitch walk. That one's buried in there. Good stop by Grandal. And so Brandon Morrow had to come in earlier than he normally would have. Instead of starting off a clean inning, had to come on in the middle of an inning. That meant Kenley Jansen had to come on sooner. And then he had Brandon McCarthy on the mound in extra innings when he never had planned on that. And that wasn't the result of his starter not going as deep. That was Ross Stripling not able to finish off the batter that he came on to face. But the same idea of that domino effect turning its ugly head later in games. On a 2-1, Franco grounds one gently to third that Justin Turner fields and throws him out.
Nick Williams.
4-0 Phillies in the 5th. Nick Williams the hitter. Strike one. Getting a few different game times in this series, huh? 4 games, 3 different times.
You got to pay attention. Don't be late. Don't be early. You'll be early tomorrow if you come today's time.
Advice to live by. Don't be early. 1-1.
It's going to be the title of my new book.
Listen, kids.
You might have to wait outside closed gates if you're too early.
Don't be too early.
You got me going now. Oh, my dad was a Marine, so it's like if you're not 10 minutes early, you're late.
Right. I'm surprised. That's why I was surprised to hear those words come out of your mouth. 2-1. You are always early.
I am always early. I break out in a sweat when I'm like in traffic here in LA, and all of a sudden I'm feeling like, oh no, I'm gonna be late.
We've all been there.
Oh, it is the worst feeling.
2-1. Good looking pitch. 2-2. I wish Alexander was a change of speeds guy so I could reference being early or late with a swing and kind of tie this all together. Instead, it'll die as a random aside. Santana at second, 2 out, and a 2-2 that Williams grounds past the mound to second. Chase Utley, wide throw, but Muncie able to extend to catch it. Halfway home in this one, the offense trying to get going, down 4-0 in search of its first hit. And Oral, and the Dodgers trying to figure out Vince Velasquez, who hasn't given up a hit through 4.
6 balls put in play. 3 have been pop-ups in the infield, so they are not hitting the ball very hard, and they haven't figured him out. Effectively wild for sure.
So how do they figure him out?
Well, make him get the ball up and stay away from that slider. But he's done a nice job that even when he's fallen behind, he keeps coming at you, and his ball's got really good life, good movement, and exceptional velocity when he's up there around 96, 97.
Grandal starting the inning, taking inside 2-0. The local guy making a new memory in the ballpark where he grew up coming to games as a Dodger fan. A little dribbler. He stops it himself and throws Grandal out. He's an exceptional athlete and shows it there.
Like the Energizer Bunny, the way he hopped off that mound. He hopped off the mound, caught a pop-up already himself, ran over by the dugout at the end of the inning and had to give way to his first baseman. And this one right here is just an exceptional play. You'd think he was a middle infielder the way he slid, pivoted, and gunned accurately to first.
In high school he was. He was a star shortstop for the Gary Vikings. With 1 out, it's Cody Bellinger. Ball 1 inside.
Make a play like that and you start thinking maybe it's going to happen. I mean, really special games have things that usually could have been hits, but something exceptional happens on the defensive end. Maybe a diving catch, maybe a bullet that's right at somebody, or a chopper like that usually could be a hit, but he makes an amazing play.
Did you ever have that same thought in the middle of one of your starts? Like, oh, that's the play that could make this a special one.
I have to go back past big league time and actually into the college days when I threw a no-hitter in college that I made a play like that. And all of a sudden, I didn't do it with the glove and a spin, but I made a wrong foot play on a swinging bunt down third like I was a third baseman and threw the guy out at first. And I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll throw a no-hitter now.
Why not?
And I threw. Right. It was like the second or third out of the game, and it was like, but you know what? If you get those things out of the way, maybe it's all going to work out.
On a 2-1, Cody Bellinger takes a change, low and away, 3 balls, 1 strike. I've seen him throw the changeup too many times.
That little cue shot that Yasmani hit was on a changeup.
Trying to sprinkle it in here, 3rd time through the order. 3-2, or 2nd time through the order. You're used to it being 3rd time through the order at this stage of the game, but he's faced the minimum thus far. On a payoff. Bellinger takes down and in, ball 4. Second walk that he's issued. First base runner for the Dodgers since the first.
Be one of the first 40,000 fans in attendance on Wednesday when the Dodgers host these Phillies at 7:10 and take home a Chris Taylor bobblehead celebrating his NLCS co-MVP award, courtesy of Pirelli. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Good looking bobblehead. Couple nights from now. Taylor struck out his first time but saw several pitches. He worked the count full against Velasquez and now tries to take the information that he gathered into this at-bat. Out of the stretch for only the 2nd time today. Here he comes with a strike.
Second batter of the game, Max Muncie, was walked by him. That was the other base runner that put him in the stretch, but he ended that inning with a double play with Justin Turner hitting the ball to first, and then a rundown that shouldn't have been that recorded the 3rd out. It was a line drive that was caught, but mistakenly called a ground ball, so there was a rundown.
Got a birthday coming up in a couple weeks. Vince will turn 26 years old. So nice timing for this trip to Los Angeles, getting to see all his friends and family. Team plane landed. He immediately went home to Pomona. Got to sleep in his own bed last night. His old bed, I guess. 1 ball, 1 strike. Definitely a difference between your bed at home and your bed at your parents' home. Probably go back to it. It doesn't feel quite as comfy as you remember it feeling.
Mine could have been a twin bed and I wouldn't have fit in it.
Yeah, right.
You share a bedroom with your brother ever?
For a short time.
Yep. Me too.
2-1.
You have 4 kids and you're the oldest. I ended up not ever having my own bedroom. I think maybe at the very end, right before I went to college. My parents got a bigger house, but share a bedroom a lot when you're the oldest.
Vince is the youngest. 2 older brothers. They're actually both Marines, as is their father. Bottom of the 5th, 4-0. And on a 2-1 pitch, Chris Taylor bunts and misses, 2-2.
The one thing that's probably going to keep this from being a special day, if the Dodgers would happen to fail to get a hit, would be that pitch count at 74. It's going to be very hard to keep that under about 110, 115.
Sliders down and away, and the count is full. He's only exceeded 100 pitches one time. He threw 101 on May 10th. He's had quite an injury history, so they have been pretty careful with him. On a 3-2. Taylor foul tips it into the glove. Strike 3. Bellinger back in there safely. Second time Taylor's been able to work a full count, but Velasquez wins the battle both times.
Strikeout, but the fun part, this snap throw to first, Alfaro's got a gun, and it is accurate. On a swing, on a 3-2 count, you might take that little extra step towards the next base, but Bellinger back in time just barely.
Second hardest throwing catcher in baseball. Only Gary Sanchez in New York throws harder. 2 out for Chase Utley. Old Phillies manager Pete McCannon, who's been in baseball for almost a half-century, said he thinks that Jorge Alfaro's arm is the strongest that he's seen from a catcher in 47 years in baseball.
It woke me up when he came up throwing right there. Had to be close to 90 miles an hour.
That's what he averages, just under 90. Ball, 1 strike.
It's one thing to do that from the mound off the hill and you have a wind up and a stride and here you come, but it's another thing to come out of your haunches,
right?
Pop up, not necessarily get all the weight behind it and the correct mechanics.
Flat ground.
Yeah, flat ground, and you're trying to release it as quick as possible because that's just as much of the equation as the strength of your arm.
Bellinger at first with 2 out. Velasquez to Utley with a 1-1 pitch. Lays off, ball 2. Look at that throw again.
A little easier with a right-handed batter throwing the ball to first, but boy, take a look. Quick feet, set up the hips and shoulders and explode down there with a little rocket.
And not just a rocket, but on a dime too. It's thrown right on the hand. Next pitch would be the 80th, so that's starting to become an issue for Velasquez, who's not given up a hit through 4 2/3. 2-2. Eric Goodell starting to loosen for the Dodgers. Pitcher spot coming up in 3 spots. Currently hitting 7th today. On a 2-2 pitch. It's a pop fly into shallow center field that sends Kingery back. Herrera comes on and puts it away to finish the Dodgers in the 5th. It's 5 no-hit innings for Vince Velasquez, with that pitch count getting up there. by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers, or visit SoCalBMW.com. And by Carl's Jr. Take your mouth to Memphis. The call of Carl's. One of the first, 3 in the second for the Phillies in a 4-0 lead. Sugar cookie? Good. Eric Goodell after Scott Alexander pitches a scoreless 5th. On for the 6th.
Goodell 3-0. One of those victories with the Dodgers. He was claimed off waivers from the Seattle Mariners and has thrown the ball well in both cities, Seattle and LA.
Bottom part of the order, Scott Kingery leads things off. He takes a strike. Kingery 1 for 2 today. One of the softly hit singles that came ahead of the Hernandez home run in the second. And still, 3-run home run, which was crushed. One of the only hard hit balls today. Breaking pitch drops in for strike 2. It's 1-2. Kingery is a man we mentioned earlier, 24 years old. He's a rookie, signed that big contract before he made his major league debut. Everybody talks about his grit, how hard he plays the game. And because he's smaller, he's been compared to Dustin Pedroia. Because he's a Philly, he's been compared to Chase Utley for the way that he plays the game. Bounces one to short. Chris Taylor's there. 1 out in the 6th.
Be sure you hit the sand in style this summer. Head to Dodger Stadium Wednesday, June 13th versus the Rangers at 7:10. The first 40,000 fans in attendance will take home a Dodgers beach towel courtesy of Chef Marito Seasonings. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
One gone for Alfaro.
At the end of the year, you could be fully outfitted with all the giveaways that we have here.
That'd be funny.
Get your apron today. Get your fidget. You get your Corey Seager, Cody Bellinger caricature T-shirt. That was the back-to-back. Now you can get a beach towel.
I was going to say we may need the towel because I'm not sure there's a pants giveaway.
I was thinking about that. Do we have the Dodger gym shorts, or we got to get something? There's the package with the apron in it.
A ball and a strike as that one takes off on Goodell. Two and one. Well, Tyler, or his brother Tyler, made his major league debut for the Phillies. He's now a Dodger farmhand, was signed the day after Eric was. Three balls, one strike. Their father, David Goodell, is somewhat legendary as a biologist. 1980s, Eric's father was the first guy to successfully create synthetic insulin and human growth hormone. Stroke to center. Bellinger started on, now goes back. A poor read, and it takes off over his head. Tries to recover with a good throw, but Alfaro's in there safely. Ringing double for the big fellow with one out here in the 6th.
I don't think Cody could have caught this if he read it right, but you were right. It was a very circuitous route, where he kind of a little J. Thank you. Well, it was close, like the route. It's a tongue twister for me.
Pitcher, Vince Velasquez.
That was a nice throw he made in there, and almost got him because it was accurate enough, and he overslid the bag maybe and lost contact with it. But the Dodgers say play on.
Velasquez to hit for himself with a no-hitter intact here in the 6th inning. The issue, though, becoming the pitch count. He's only thrown over 100 one time this year, but he's thrown 81 in this one. And that's kind of one of those in-between ones for Gabe Kapler, right? Because he's not necessarily anymore the highly touted prospect that you've got to take care of, but does have an injury history. Not yet a veteran where you say he may not have another shot at this, and you've got to let him go until his arm falls off. Like you kind of saw Tyson Ross do with San Diego earlier this season. Andy Green said, look, we're going to send him out there as long as we can. He threw 120 something. It was broken up eventually. But the point is, Velasquez kind of falls between those two ends of the spectrum when it comes to the decision how long to ride him.
We made the comment about how long are the Phillies going to hang around in the National League East, with Washington brewing and Atlanta there at the top, and the Mets game over 500. Well, Velasquez 3-1 with a 2.08 coming into this game in May, so he might be beginning to get on a roll that will keep them in the hunt. I'm sure they're going to want to try and keep him healthy, and it's not like, oh, every pitch he throws is an exceptional risk.
Goodell gets him swinging here, 2 away in the 6th. He's part of a rotation that's been the key in this good season for the Phillies. Overall, they're 5th in the majors. Here in the month of May, they enter the day as #1 in the majors in starters ERA. With 2 gone, it's the leadoff man Hernandez. His 3-run home run, the big swing in this game. That came in the 2nd against Stewart. Ball 1.
Seems to be a common thread with the Dodgers and their starters to get going. Win 8 out of the last 10, where the Phillies starters have done so well throughout the whole season for them. The Striplings and the Maedas and Wood, Bueller.
He did offer 1-1. Here are the top 6 starting staff ERAs in the month of May across baseball. Phillies #2. Dodgers check in at 6. All good teams on there. Got to see the Houston Astros this weekend, and man, they are something right now. It's a pop fly into center. Cody Bellinger settles under it and finishes the Phillies off in the 6th. Dodgers still looking for that first hit as Vince Velasquez gets ready to come back out. For Vince Velasquez, 5 no-hit innings thus far, but he's at 81 pitches.
Well, he has thrown the ball very well, effectively wild. All of his pitches have been swung and missed at, so he can go to almost any tool, and boy, has he fielded his position well. He's been on the mound catching pop-ups, getting cue shots with ground balls and making great plays, and actually had to get called off a pop-up when he ran over in front of his own dugout to catch it.
And we know that he's an emotional, intense guy, rides that roller coaster, and you can just see with his body language and some of those plays you're talking about that tonight he is really feeling good and feeling confident about himself.
A local guy that the last time he had an outing in Dodger Stadium, it was a nightmare, and right now he's having a dream night.
Yasiel Puig to lead off the 6th, with Logan Forsythe in the on-deck circle in the pitcher's spot. And Yimi Garcia just recalled today, going to get his feet wet again. Puig to left center field, and the Dodgers have the first hit of the night. Played poorly by Hoskins, and Puig is going to turn it into a double. So the no-hitter gone to open the 6th. And the tough decision taken off of Gabe Kapler's shoulders.
Well, let's take a look at the Arco top-tier play of the game for the Dodgers, because they get their first hit, and it finds a hole. Wasn't hit that well, but hit accurately, and Puig getting into second. Maybe he can kickstart the Dodger offense here, down by 4.
And he kind of given up on it and taking it for granted that Hoskins would play it on a bounce. He's able to recover and turn it into a double. I've actually ruled that a single and an error. So a single and an error. Hoskins, a first baseman by trade, has been below average since moving to left field when they acquired Carlos Santana. Below average would be one way to put that play.
And also the fact that he's been below average with the bat, so he's not feeling really good about baseball right now.
Stirring down in that pen.
That Philly bullpen had not moved at all. There's a superstition down there in pens that when the starter has something special going, nobody move from their chair, nobody move very much. Don't even act like you're stretching. But now that he's given up a hit, a little bit of moving around.
Logan Forsythe pinch hitting. Dodgers with a man at second base for the first time all evening. Wonder how that superstition is evolving in the day and age of pitch counts, where, you know, for example, Walker Buehler, his combined no-hitter, you kind of had to move. I guess you wait until the phone rings.
Well, you can go through your stretching. You probably wouldn't do it out there in public. Maybe you go down in the tunnel to do it, but nothing where your starter could look over his shoulder and see action down there.
Nothing in 2.
And we all know it has no power, but there's comfort in calming your nerves to do something as a group to watch.
A ball and 2 strikes. Logan Forsythe with a hit, 7 of his last 8 games. Vince Velasquez is trying to do something that's not been done against the Dodgers since his teammate Jake Arrieta threw a no-hitter August 30th, 2015 in this ballpark. Forsythe off of the hands, backs up Franco, long throw, and taking third is Puig, as Forsythe is the first out of the 6. There are 2 characters right there, Maikel Franco and Yasiel Puig. And then there's the straight-laced Chris Woodward. 1-on-1 out, Jock Peterson.
We've seen Jock shoot some balls to left field, and with the Phillies defense right there, could be a very much a routine RBI for a routine ground ball to short.
Talk about productive outs, situational hitting. Dodgers are number 2 in the National League. A success rate getting men in from third with less than 2 out. Only team better is the Phillies. And Peterson finds himself in an 0-2 hole here.
See if Jock has a 2-strike approach right here. Pretty much any ground ball is going to get the RBI in, as deep as they are is on the right.
We get third one gone. 90th pitch from Vince Velasquez is an 0-2 to Jock Peterson. And it's a fastball away. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Feels real good when you don't hear strike 3 on those borderline pitches with a man on third and less than 2 outs.
Hold your breath, huh?
Yeah, your heart might skip a beat.
Going away again with a 1-2. Peterson hits it foul and stays alive.
Sometimes as a hitter you're late and you're upset, but right here you're glad if you're Jock Peterson and you're a little late. You're reading the pitch the whole way, spoiling it.
Oh for 2 in this one. Trying to get the Dodgers on the board in the 6th. Another 1-2 pitch. Took a high fastball, and it's 2-2. Jock Peterson takes ball 3. What Muncie do next? Hard of the order to follow him. Dodgers showing their first signs of life in this one. After falling behind 0-2, he's worked it full, and now the 3-2 pitch. Fastball poked to left down the line. A fair ball, and extra bases for Peterson. Puig to score on a Jock Peterson double, and the Dodgers on the board for 1 in the 6th.
Excellent approach and excellent 2-strike swing from Jock Peterson. Just kind of blocking this ball. You don't see the full swing right there. He's able to hold that bat up because it's not really accelerating once it gets into the hitting area. He's just kind of holding it there to make contact. And boy, did he make good contact and drive that ball right down the line.
Right in the chalk. So the first mound visit of the game. Dodgers get their first hit, a soft base hit from Puig. This one much more firmly down the line. And it's won 8 of its last 10, finally coming to life here in the 6th inning.
Jock Peterson drives one in and puts himself in scoring position.
Sir Anthony Dominguez getting loose. He's been the shutdown guy for that Phillies bullpen that is very matchup oriented. One on, one out. Max Muncie takes a pitch on the outside corner for a strike.
Dominguez looked like he was getting ready in a hurry, so probably getting ready for Justin Turner. And that's why the visit also.
And an 0-1. Muncie cuts through a fastball. 0-2.
Max Muncie has the lowest number of at-bats per RBI of anybody on the Dodgers, and is actually in the top 10, I think even the top 5 in the National League. An RBI every 4.8 at-bats.
Got a chance at one here, but he's behind 0-2. Ground ball up the middle. Hernandez has it and throws him out. Up to third goes Peterson, and here comes Justin Turner. Turner with an 0-2 so far has entered a bit of a slump the last week and a half or so. 4 for his last 29. Wouldn't be a bad time for him to come out of it. 4-1 in the 6th against a guy that he's taken deep before. Base hit to left field, and it's 4-2. Turner jumps on the first pitch to drive home Jock Peterson.
Picks on a breaking ball. First pitch slider on the outer half, slightly down, but Justin staying with it, extending through that ball to hit that line drive. At Kemp getting a day off, but still there for his teammates cheering him on.
Staying warm for what could be a big pinch hit appearance later in this game. Gabe Kapler coming out, taking it from Vince Velasquez, who had 5 no-hit innings for the Dodgers, getting him for at least 2 runs on 3 hits here in the 6th. They bring the tying run to the plate as the Phillies go into that bullpen. For Vince Velasquez, but it sure is better than that nightmare that he had in his first start in his hometown when he gave up 11 hits that led to 9 runs back in 2016. Book not yet closed. Runner on his responsibility as the 23-year-old rookie Anthony Dominguez, a member of the all-name team, comes on to pitch.
10 strikeouts and 10 1/3 innings. He has started his career on a hot streak and has been a main cog of shutting down offenses coming out of that Philly bullpen. .063 batting average against.
Facing Grandal, who suddenly represents the tying run in this game. RBI hits from Jock Peterson and Justin Turner. Ball 1. Dominguez in short order, Oral, with those numbers you're talking about, has turned into the high leverage guy for Gabe Kapler. He's fallen behind Grandal 2-0.
Started his big league career with 6 no-hit, no-walk major league appearances. First guy since 1908 to do that.
Had a fastball to hit and fouled it off. 2-1. He's a starter in the minors. And then he flashed in spring training, and everybody's kind of looking around saying, why is this guy not on the big league radar yet? So they converted him to the bullpen, and what a find. A 2-1. Overthrown to the backstop. Turner can walk into second. And Anthony Dominguez, who's not walked a batter in his major league career, has fallen behind Grandal 3-1.
Just because you start off hot as a youngster doesn't mean you still don't have nerves, especially when you're pitching in a beautiful ballpark like Dodger Stadium that is so historic, like coming to Yankee Stadium or Fenway or Wrigley.
Ground ball right side into the shift. Grandal really hustling, but to no avail. And the inning comes to an end. But the Dodgers get on the board. Couple of runs to cut the deficit in half. This 10-game homestand winds down with this 4-game series with the Phillies. Notice the different game time on Thursday, 4:30 on getaway day, before the Dodgers go to Colorado for 3 and then Pittsburgh for 3 after an off day on Monday. For the 7th in a 4-2 game, it's Yimi Garcia, just recalled today.
The innings down in Okie City have done him well. Almost a hit an inning down there. Has not walked a batter in AAA. That last stint. He is an aggressive strike thrower and continues to get better and stronger, recovering from the elbow surgery that had him out for almost 2 years.
2, 3, and 4 for the Phillies in this inning. Hoskins 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Fouls off the first pitch. With the Dodgers getting those 2 runs in the 6th, this becomes an important appearance for Yimi Garcia.
The way this game has been going, it felt like the Dodger offense is going to have a flat tire, and maybe the Phillies get out of here with the W for the first game of this 4-game series. But now this game is in balance, and momentum has shifted.
I mentioned it earlier. This is the same team the Dodgers had that memorable 9th inning comeback against last year. A few of the same bullpen pieces. Hoskins can't get that one by the Silver Fox. Chase Utley climbs the ladder. Yasiel Puig likes it. 1 away in the 7th.
The Silver Fox doing it to his old Phillies. Line drive. See him on his toes as the ball enters the hitting area, and he is on it. Oh yeah, some ups.
Perfectly timed. Here's Herrera. He's already bunted for a hit today. Takes a strike. Odubel Herrera, who had the 45-game on-base streak dating back to last season, said that he often goes into the batter's box with his dad's voice in his head, Odubel Sr. And Dad always demanded better plate discipline, a better eye. Said sometimes it feels like his dad's taking his AB for him. That voice is so strong in his head. No balls, 2 strikes. So I guess Odubel Sr., nice job on the 41-game on-base streak. He is the only Odubel in Major League history. Had an Odie, fed an Odalis. He's the first Odubel. Garcia gets him with a fastball at 97 with good life to it.
Herrera crowds the plate. His leg kick actually comes into the strike zone, and the Dodgers crowd him with a fastball. Well, just barely gets to the corner there. If he's leaning out over the plate, visually for a pitcher against him, it's easy to want to come in because of you watch that leg kick and how he dives in there with it.
Carlos Santana, switch hitter, flips around to the left side. He's reached all 3 times tonight with a walk, a single, and a double. Including tonight, 450 in his last 6 games as he takes a changeup for a strike.
Well, Yimi looks really sharp out there. This is a piece that Dodger fans have not seen for a while, just a little bit last year or this year, and he could really be a key piece. And he was on his game before getting hurt. He had amazing command, and that's what he's showing so far this year.
Gets him to chase a high fastball and a very quick 8-pitch 7th. On this Memorial Day, we're going to hang here instead of sending it a break. God Bless America coming up.
Now, fans, would you please rise and remove your hats for the singing of God Bless America, performed tonight by musician second class Rachel Venel.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide we form. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet
Two after the 2-run sixth. Cody Bellinger to lead it off. Taylor and Utley to follow. Bellinger with a fly out his first time. 3 hits in his last 36 at-bats. Walked his next time up. And on this 0-1 pitch, take strike 2. Been a frustrating season for him. The average dipping down to 236 with his latest slide. And Dominguez makes quick work of him. That's his first strikeout in 6 games. So he's still not getting the hits. He's been eliminating the strikeouts as of late. Until that one there to lead off the 7th.
They're going to have to try and hit Dominguez. He hasn't walked a batter all year. Only a span of about 11 innings, but still. Got great stuff.
1 out for Chris Taylor. Cody Bellinger taking out some frustration down in that dugout. Taylor swings through the first one. Even as tough of a run as it's been for Cody, even as frustrated as you know that he is, and you can see in his eyes, rarely does he snap. Very level-headed, very mature baseball player. But everybody's got a breaking point. On a 1-1 pitch. Taylor swings and misses 1 and 2. Dominguez touching 98 with that fastball.
What a find. Minor leaguer, shows well in spring training, and people are like, why is he not going to be in our bullpen? Well, he is now.
And he's got back-to-back Ks to open the 7th. Taylor tonight
Second baseman, number 26.
Has struck out at all 3 ABs. Here's Chase Utley with 2 out. The base is empty. One of the Phillies' off days in late April, Gabe Kapler went to Double-A Reading to watch Sir Anthony Dominguez pitch and really liked what he saw. 3 days later, caught up to Triple-A, and soon after that, made that major league debut. Falling behind Utley 2-0. It's a nice contrast in tempo after Velasquez. It's inside ball 3.
Phillies with a young team, and Gabe Kapler was head of player development here with the Dodgers for a few years, and I thought it was a really good fit of somebody who had been in charge of a minor league system and successfully developed young players, and to successfully mentor a young team.
Yeah, what a way to spend an off day. Those things are hard to come by. Gabe went to Double-A to watch him pitch. On a 3-1, Utley takes a strike and the count is full. If Utley could reach, Puig would come up representing the tying run in a 4-2 game here in the 7th. Dominguez comes back to strike him out, strikes out the side here in the 7th, and it remains 4-2. Back into the studio for a preview of Access Sportsnet Dodgers, presented by your Southern California Ford dealers.
All right, thanks, Joe. The Dodgers need a little Memorial Day magic in the late innings to beat the Phillies here, Jerry.
Got to find that late inning magic.
All right, Jerry will be here. Nomar will join us as well. Alana Rizzo will have reaction from the Dodgers clubhouse. We'll see you guys soon.
All right, John and Jerry. Amy Garcia out there for a second inning of work, having only thrown 8 pitches to get the 3 outs in the 7th. Backs Michael Franco off of the plate with ball 1. Franco in his first season in the majors, 2015. He debuted midseason, hit .280. Homered 14 times in 80 games and was in the Rookie of the Year discussion, but then broke his wrist. And then the last 2 years, well, he's hit for power. He's not hit for average. He's not gotten on base. In fact, the last 2 years, the only guy with a lower on base percentage in the National League is his old teammate, Freddie Galvis. Induced a pop up here, and Grandal's got it for the first out.
It's 3 1/3 scoreless innings out of the bullpen. The last 10 games, their ERA was under 1.9, and they've added to that success here. Much has been talked about with all the starters doing so well, but today with Brock Stewart having a little bit of a rough start, the bullpen has given the Dodgers a chance to come back.
Nick Williams. The Phillies had all that traffic in the first 2 innings. They're 2 for 16 since the second. Strike one. Second game of that doubleheader in Atlanta is underway. Told you the Braves walked the Mets off on a Charlie Culberson home run in the first game. And so the lead over the Phillies in the division is a full game, but if both scores hold, Phillies would be back in first place. That one gets Williams and a 1-out base runner. First one against Garcia.
Shortstop number 4, Scott Kingery.
Coming in with the heater, and boy, caught his back elbow. Wasn't in the strike zone, but that one's got to really sting.
1 on 1 out. Scott Kingery coming up. Hey, we have to make sure that we wish a very, very special happy birthday to one of our favorite people in the world, Maria Hartmark. And the only way that I really know how to give the proper title is to say that she's kind of like our mom here in the booth and in the press box.
She takes care of everybody, and loving, kind spirit. 28 years a Dodger employee up here on the food service area. Hardworking. You never see her standing still, and you never see her without a smile.
No, rarely is she not singing either.
That's true.
Yep, always with a smile, always working. She would run through a wall to get a job done. Happy birthday, Maria.
Happy birthday, Maria. We love you.
Kingery fouls it off 0-2. I think she should take the rest of the night off. I'm not sure she's ever taken a day off. Ever.
I don't think we have the power to give her the rest of the night off.
Say, yeah. We don't have that authority. Sorry, Maria.
See that wall of the press box, and you see this one here, and this is our authority right here. This little square.
For being honest, we don't even have an authority over this.
That's true.
0-2. Phillies getting 1 in the first and 3 in the second on a Cesar Hernandez home run. Dodgers getting 2 in the 6th after Vince Velasquez fired 5 no-hit innings. RBI double from Jock Peterson. RBI single from Justin Turner. Start thinking about available pinch hitters for Dave Roberts over the final 2 innings. Matt Kemp is one of them. Kike Hernandez and Austin Barnes also available. It's as if Kike knew he was on that list. Stepped right into the camera shot. A ball and 2 strikes.
Dodgers looking for a little magic. Get a 0 here and get some offense. They've only had 2 dramatic comebacks all year. And they have been behind after the 6th and behind after the 7th.
Rockies are hosting the Giants. As Pedro Baez starts to loosen. Rockies and Giants tied at 5 in the 9th inning at Coors Field. The Giants have a couple of runners on with 2 out. About to get Madison Bumgarner back as early as this weekend. It's a good chance the Phillies see his return. Now the Giants, Oral, in their last 19 games are 6-13, but are 3 games out of first place.
That's how crazy this National League West has been. We're doing the same thing with Mad Bum as we're going to do with Clayton. Not really no rehab start. Sim games.
Fly ball to left field. Peterson, they considered it. He did go out on rehab and pitch very well, but just going to do 1 and ready to come back this weekend. Diamondbacks broke out today. They scored 12 runs against the Reds. That's only their 3rd win in their last 18 games.
I'm looking to see how Goldschmidt did.
Race ya. 2 for 5.
Race. You were already on the game.
2 for 5. 2 singles and RBI. Grandal out for a visit with Garcia in front of this AB for Jorge Alfaro. Who's 2 for 3 today and has continued a really nice stretch. Hit 163 over the first month of the season, but is nearing 300 over the last month. Fastball buzzes the tower, 1-0.
That is a close shave. I was frustrated. We saw Cody Bellinger, and his average coming in today was 237, 8 home runs, 28 RBIs. Paul Goldschmidt, 208, 6 home runs, 17 RBIs. Talking about frustration.
They scored those 12 runs today. Arizona did. They had scored 13 in their previous 7.
That's an explosion for them. Wow. They have really struggled. No Pollock, pretty much no Goldschmidt, the way he's produced.
Lamb just coming back. No Souza again.
No JD Martinez.
Yeah.
He's in another city.
Pretty sure he just homered again. 1 and 2. That's without even checking. You got JD Martinez and Mookie Betts going back and forth, engaging in their own little home run battle. The top of the big leagues. I just got confirmation he did homer today. JD Martinez.
Really?
Yeah. 17th of the year. Tied with Mookie Betts for the most in the bigs.
Mike Trout's got 17.
Tied with Mike Trout too. Williams at first with 2 out. Garcia's 1-2, and he got him with a high fastball. Couple of scoreless innings in Yimi Garcia's return to the majors. To the bottom of the 8th in a 2-run game.
At the Dodgers game on Saturday, June 9th versus the Braves, the first 40,000 fans in attendance will receive a Manny Mota bobblehead presented by Jack in the Box. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
What a cool giveaway, huh? For a cool guy.
I love Manny Mota. A great mentor to so many different Dodgers and a great coach.
This is the 27th game of the year for Luis Garcia. 31 years old out of Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, and on to face Puig, then Kemp, who will bat in the pitcher's spot, and then the top of the order. Puig broke up the Velasquez no-hitter with a leadoff single in the 6th. Didn't hit it hard, but it was a hit nonetheless. Garcia coming inside with his first pitch of the night, and Puig taking it, strike one. Boy, some velocity out of this Phillies pen.
The Dominguez average velocity is 98 miles an hour. Garcia on the mound right now, his average velocity is 97. There's a slider and a splitter also.
'99. Garcia's 6th season in the major leagues. Coming off his best year. With 265 a year ago. Here's 1-1. Chopper to third off Franco, and Puig's aboard to start the inning. That means the tying run at the plate is Matt Kemp.
Yasiel had a conversation with Franco when he was down there at third, and now hits one too hot to handle. If they called it a hit or an error, they called it a hit.
So Kemp pinch hitting, representing the tying run here in the 8th. One of the best hitters in baseball this year with men on. Truthfully, one of the best hitters in baseball this year, period. Strike one.
Big fastball on the mound. Matt Kemp Giving himself a little bit more room in this at bat, a little farther off the plate than normal. Get the bat through on that inside fastball that he has hit so well this year.
Lays off the slider, and it's 1-1. You know why Kemp gets the day off today. Velasquez very hard on righties. Dave Roberts trying to keep Matt Kemp fresh. But at this point, the lineup just doesn't have the same feel to it. Not even close when he's not in the middle of it. Lashed into left center field, a base hit. Herrera cuts it off on the base of the track. Puig's headed for the plate. Here's the throw, not in time. Pinch hit, RBI double, Matt Kemp. A one-run game and the tying run in scoring position.
Matt Kemp has been unbelievable with runners in scoring position this year. Yasiel's not in scoring position, but he is when you drive one in the left center gap and can run like Yasiel. Matt Kemp threads the needle with that line drive. Chris Woodward says, Yasiel, keep on trucking.
Interesting place for Luis Garcia to be positioned here. And Manny Ramirez is it with a cutoff. Diving in front of it. Kemp's RBI double has it at 4-3, and that's going to do it for Garcia. Jock Peterson has been announced as the hitter. Back into the bullpen they go. We'll see if Dave Roberts counters. One in the bank here in the 8th on a double from Kemp. Still nobody out as Adam Morgan comes on.
They're looking to shut this inning down, but Matt Kemp with that double and no outs. Kike Hernandez coming up, and yes, he wants to drive him in, but he would rather drive him in or move him over. Got a good chance here to have a successful at bat just by recording it out and getting Matt to third.
And that is news that Kike's coming up. Peterson was due off, but with a left-hander caught upon. Dave Roberts counters with the right-handed batting Hernandez. Tying run at second. Go ahead run at the plate. First one. Sweeps low, ball one. Towering pop fly. Unable to advance Kemp. Unless it falls and Hernandez boots it. Kemp's headed for third. The Dodgers catch a break. What in the world just happened?
A normal 7-10 game, we'd be an hour into it, maybe about the third inning, and this sky is still a little bit light. So that ball with a little bit of wind and spin and a tough sky right now. Completely lost. Matt Kemp, as soon as he saw that ball carry him away, what a great read to get to third base.
And not too many guys in this lineup right now that you'd rather have up here. Runners at the corners in a one-run game in the 8th, nobody out, than Max Muncie. Ball 1. The infield comes in for the Phillies. Tying run at third, go ahead run at first. The 1-0 to the plate. In the dirt, nice stop by Alfaro. 2 balls and no strikes.
Interesting choice to bring the infield in with no outs. And you have a 1-run lead. Go ahead and take the double play, give up the tie, and move on in the game. But Kapler pinching him in.
Perhaps cracking the door open for a big inning. A 2-0. A strike, 2-1. Max Muncie. Some time in the majors with the Oakland A's. They cut him loose. Dodgers picked him up. Spent all last season in AAA. Opened this year in AAA. Hardly on anybody's radar outside the front office. But he has turned into a valuable piece. And on a 2-1, he flips it back 2-2.
Kemp will have to do a good job reading the Philly infield. If they get a ground ball where it looks like they're going to try and turn 2, he needs to break and go home.
2-2. Stays alive.
If he doesn't anticipate them turning a double play, he's going to have to hold up. I'm sure right now Chris Woodward's telling him make the ground ball go through, but if it's one right up the middle and looks like they're going to get a double play, you have to make them pay the price. Give up that tying run.
Arms in the outfield in a sacrifice fly situation, not great, and left and center. 2-2. A bouncer off of Morgan, who flips it to first, not in time. The game is tied, and the door is still wide open.
There is some energy and some passion running through this building right now. The score is tied, but it feels like the Dodgers are way up. Muncie's ball deflected. Kemp broke from home, crossed the plate with the tying run. Muncie sprinting down the line, trying to beat this out. He does, and Matt Kemp joins the crowd for some excitement.
Love seeing that emotion. Matt Kemp is loving life right now. Still nobody out. First and second in a 4-4 game, and it's Justin Turner. Bouncing ball up the middle. Nice stop by Kingery. The out at second, not in time at first. Gabe Kapler says hold on. They're going to take a look at this.
That was a sweet play right there. They've had balls deflecting and missing, and yeah, it looks like Justin is out. Does he look out to you or safe? Oh, he's safe. He's safe. What was I looking at?
I was wondering.
I don't know.
So first and third, one out. Still tied at 4. They are, it looks like, going to challenge it, though.
Well, the 6-4 force out at second was a sweet play with the glove. Fans here in Dodger Stadium watching the replay up on Dodger Vision. Pretty definitive right there that the ball is not striking the leather when Justin's foot strikes the bag.
They confirm the call. First and third, one out. And the switch hitting now, Smani Grandal to the plate. The bat right-handed. Two in the 6th and 2 in the 8th to tie the game at 4. Morgan pitches a squeeze play, and it's bunted foul. Safety squeeze put on by Dave Roberts. Grandal unable to lay it down. 0-1.
Osmani has struggled from this side of the plate. Most of his production has come as a left-handed hitter.
Infield stays in across the board. Morgan's 0-1. Grandal cuts and misses, strike 2. Morgan desperate for a strikeout here. He's ready. He pitches. Grandal takes it in the dirt, smothered by Alfaro.
It's a nice job of breaking balls in the dirt. They come back on catchers. They don't continue on their break after they hit the ground. They carry them backwards.
The 1-2 in the dirt again. Turner's going to take second. Hernandez holding at third. And it was actually Morgan that wound up getting to that ball. Alfaro couldn't find it.
Blocks another one, and this one scoots out in front of home plate. Justin Turner reading the trajectory of the ball out of the hand and then seeing the bounce get away.
So first base now open. Cody Bellinger on deck. 4-4 game in the 8th inning. Yasmani Grandal. It's a bouncing ball. Past Kingery into left. From down 4-0 to up 5-4. Some magic in the air tonight.
Pinch the infield in, you raise the average of the hitter by at least 100 points. Yasmani only hitting .233 from this side of the plate. But with him in, just hit a solid 2-hopper and you can get it through. The Dodgers have found some holes in a very weak Philadelphia defense, and it has paid off.
So that'll cue Kenley Jansen to get going. Still just one out, 1st and 3rd. And Cody Bellinger to the plate. Strike one. Now the pressure off Cody with the go-ahead run having scored, or the way that Bellinger's struggling. Hopefully he can take a breath here. The go-ahead run already in. Need Buckler for strike 2. Lays off this one as he throws him 3 consecutive sliders, 1 and 2. In the dirt, no swing, and the count evens up.
Two good takes, one that was sweeping wide and one that was too low, and Cody has stayed alive. Doesn't take much right here, just some solid contact.
Amy Garcia now in position to win this game and has returned to the major leagues with a couple scoreless innings out of the pen. Bellinger looks at strike 3 on a fastball.
Shortstop number 3, Chris Taylor.
With 2 out, it's Chris Taylor. And he's going to face somebody else. Gabe Kapler out of that first base dugout. The left-hander Morgan is finished. A right-hander will come on for Taylor. The Dodgers with 2 in the 6th and 3 here in the 8th to take a 5-4 lead. Pause not. Franco boots the first one. It was ruled a single for Puig. Then Kemp with an RBI double. Hernandez thought that he had failed to move the runner up, but Cesar Hernandez couldn't find the pop-up. This is how the game was tied. Ruled an RBI single for Max Muncie. And then Yasmani Grandal sneaks it to the drawn-in infield to bring home Hernandez. And the Dodgers with a 5-4 lead. First and third, 2 out. And Victor Arano to face Chris Taylor, who takes strike 1 at the belt.
Arano's got a fastball, a slider, and a change. The fastball not as hard as we've seen come out of that Philly pen. His will average around 93.
23-year-old out of Mexico. Taylor behind 0-2.
Talk about the fastball at 93, 94, but he throws about 75% sliders.
Well, looking ahead to the 9th inning for the Phillies, 9-1-2 coming up. Aaron Altair, as part of a double switch, will lead that inning off. Then Hernandez, then Hoskins. Dodgers trying to steal one. A game they trailed 4-0. Arano to Taylor with a 1-2. Fly foul, and do it again. Trying to get their 9th win out of their last 11 after losing 6 straight. And reaching rock bottom, I think it's safe to say. Getting swept in a 4-game series by the Cincinnati Reds. Losing the first 2 to the Miami Marlins. That was the 6-game skid. Those are 2 of the 3 last place teams. In fact, those are the 2 worst records in the league. Well, they've gotten it going since. Overthrown. Grandal gets caught between first and second, hoping to draw the throw, but it pops out of his hand like a bar of soap. No throw. Second and third, 2 out.
Dodgers are going to play a little first and third running game double steal. If they'd have thrown through, Yasmani would have gotten a run down, and Justin Turner would have decided when to break for home, depending on where the ball was going to end up. He never put the ball in his throwing hand when he faked it. Kept the ball in the glove. It just happened to slip out.
You know he's bumming about that. He looks forward to every chance he gets to show off that arm. Arano's 2-2. Taylor takes it low and away. Full count. Chris trying to avoid a 4-strikeout game. And perhaps his last chance to extend his 11-game on base streak. It's the 3rd time out of his 4 ABs that he's worked the full count. Three-2. Got him swinging. Second 4-strikeout game of the year for Chris. But the Dodgers get 3 in the inning. What an inning it was. Matt Kemp with a pinch hit double to bring home Puig to get it started. Bringing the emotion out of the veteran. Muncie's RBI single tied it. And Yasmani Grandal to the drawn-in infield. And you can cue California Love. Kenley Jansen finally recapturing some of his normal form as he's been perfect in save opportunities in this month of May. 10 consecutive shutout outings. Yeah, with the narrowest of margins here, 5-4. Matt Kemp in the game and left after his pinch hit double. And Kike Hernandez at second. 9-1-2 coming up for the Phillies.
4 scoreless innings so far out of the bullpen. They have been outstanding, and you know Kenley Jansen feels that responsibility on his shoulders with the offense coming back and the bullpen setting him up for this save.
Won't be easy. Aaron Altair has pop. After Altair, the top of the order, Hernandez and Hoskins. Off we go with a 9th inning with a cutter for a strike. If they can hang on, it'd be their largest come from behind win this season. They erased the 3-run deficit a couple of Saturdays ago in Washington. This was 4-0 entering the 6th. Back-to-back cutters, back-to-back strikes.
No question about the velocity anymore. Consistent up or down. No question about the consistency and accuracy of the cutter. He is on a roll.
Oh, 2. 1 out. On 3 pitches.
Two low and away, and 1 up the ladder.
How about the bullpen tonight? During this 8-2 run, a sub-2 ERA. A lot of that has been lengthier starts. That wasn't the case tonight, though. Brock Stewart just 4 innings and a lot put on the pen's shoulders. Going up to the challenge thus far. Hernandez on the first pitch grounds to Kike Hernandez. And on 4 pitches, 2 gone in the 9th. Hoskins, the last hope. Strike 1. We've touched on it a couple times. They did something similar to the Phillies here last year. This is a different Phillies team, though. 3rd best record in the National League. Quick pitches in for strike 2. This would feel like a big one. Hesitates. Turns on it, foul. Oh, 2. Down the right field line, foul again. Still no balls, 2 strikes, and the powerful Rhys Hoskins. Kenley Jansen tries to execute a 1-2-3 9th inning to keep his season rolling in the right direction. Another 0-2 to the slider, and Hoskins took it.
wants it down. He gets it down. He just ain't biting.
So now he'll come inside with a 1-2. Swing, and you hit him in the swing. And he's down in pain. Are they saying foul ball? There should be a swing and a miss in the end of the game. Obviously, you're concerned for Hoskins.
Saying it's a foul ball that it hit the bat, but we shall see. Wow, did he foul it back into his face?
Oh,
I don't think it hit the bat.
What did it hit?
It might have deflected off his arm or wrist up into his face. No. Wow. Feel bad for him getting hit by the ball. Did it really hit the bat?
That is like an optical illusion. And they're wondering, did it hit the bat? If it did, it's a foul ball. But if it ricocheted off his arm, this game should be over. Doesn't matter if it hit him, if he's swinging. It's a swing and a miss.
Exactly.
So they can send up whoever they want here. And they choose Florimon. Pedro Florimon. Let's take one more look. It did hit the bat.
Yep.
It did. I guess that would be some kind of hard ricochet to have it come off his arm. Right? And it did hit the bat. So it is a foul ball, and Florimon sent up there to inherit this 1-2 count. A weird night gets weirder. Rick Honeycutt going to deliver the scouting report with a smile on his face. We hope that Hoskins is okay. What a horrible thing.
The ball does not lose a lot of velocity on a foul ball.
Go get him, Pedro. Man, not an easy thing for him. Thrown in there to face Jansen with a 1-2 count and the game on the line. Here it comes. 2 balls and 2 strikes. After Florimon, it's their best hitter, Odubel Herrera. Kenley Jansen trying to finish it now. The set for the 2-2. Grounded foul. Now the first 2 outs on 4 pitches, but between Hoskins and Florimon, this would be the 9th of this AB. It's another 2-2. And the count goes full. This crowd just waiting to explode. Celebrate. It's been a fun one. Jansen to Florimon with a 3-2 pitch. Pretty impressive what he's doing.
Yeah, you don't expect to be put up there in the middle of an at-bat, and then with the game on the line, you're down to your last swing. 1-2 count. Build it to 3-2. If you're thinking if he gets on, is he a stolen base threat? Well, he has 1 bag and 1 caught stealing this year.
Worry more about Herrera's power. Waiting in the on-deck circle. Another payoff. And that's it. from down 4-0 to a 5-4 win with the biggest comeback of 2018.
3 in the 8th to go ahead. 3 games under 500 now, and only 3 games out of first place.
Our play of the game brought to you by Lexus. Against a drawn in infield, Yasmani Grandal with 2 strikes put it in play and brought home the 3rd of those 3 runs in the 8th inning. Bringing this crowd, bringing Matt Kemp to life. The Dodgers have won 9 of 11. Game 2 of this series will be tomorrow. They'll face off with Jake Arrieta as Kenta Maeda tries to keep his season rolling. For Orr Hershiser, Alana Rizzo, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Dodger Stadium. Hope you've enjoyed your Memorial Day. Stay tuned. Access Sportsnet Dodgers begins now.